In recent years, the wealth gap in the United States has continued to widen. According to the Federal Reserve's report in 2021, the top 1% in the U.S. own a record-breaking 32.3% of the nation's wealth, while the bottom 50% own only 2.6%. This growing wealth inequality has triggered strong public dissatisfaction.
I've been working since I was 16 years old. Helped pay my parents' mortgage when I was still in high school. I was born poor. I'm still poor. They want me to die poor. I don't know how you guys do it.
Netizens concluded that it is precisely because people do everything which was told that they fall into this trap. Why is the wealth gap in the U.S. growing? Starting from the 1970s, the U.S. has been moving towards a more privatized economic system with more relaxed financial regulations. As a result, financial capital has grown rapidly, leading to a significant concentration of wealth and a surge in high-income earners. This situation is largely attributed to the monopoly of capital. According to data from 2021, the median income of a CEO of a U.S.-listed company was $20 million, a stark contrast to the average employee's income of only $72,000. Between 1978 and 2020, an average CEO income increased by a staggering 1,322%, while the average employee only increased by a meager 18%. This enormous discrepancy in income has resulted in even greater wealth inequality.
Also in Los Angeles, a massive strike shutting down the nation's second largest school district. More than 30,000 staff members, including school aides, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodians, all walking off the job.
They want 30%. Many service workers living below the poverty line.
To live dignified lives here in Los Angeles, to be able to feed their families and pay their rents.
Tax policy is another contributor to the widening gap, with the U.S. transforming into a tax haven for global billionaires, while the Democratic Party and the Republican Party arm wrestling over tax issues. While the wealthy employ various legal means to avoid taxes, the effective tax rate for billionaires in the top 1% is just 3.4%, significantly lower than that of ordinary workers. Tax policies primarily benefit high-income individuals, while the growth in Social Security expenditures falls short of closing the income gap, thereby exacerbating the wealth divide.
We have some of the cast members sleeping in their car because they can't afford to pay rent off from what Disney offered us.
The U.S. government's investment in public education is inadequate and falls far short of meeting the growing demand. Furthermore, as capital accumulates, the relationship between income and educational attainment is becoming weaker. The traditional path of social mobility through education is no longer viable.
Why it costs so much to go to school in the United States. This is how much money I have in loans right now. Most schools increase their tuition every year because they can, because you can get more loans.
Here's a revised version. The lack of universal health care in the U.S. means that low-income individuals who are unemployed or work in unstable jobs face challenges in accessing medical services, often leading to financial difficulties such as bankruptcy and debt. Additionally, the absence of a minimum wage system or basic income guarantee aggravates the struggles of the poor.
I quit.
The issue of wealth inequality is closely intertwined with race in the U.S. African American, Hispanic, and Latino households have an average income that is only half that of Caucasian households, and their net wealth is only 15% to 20% of that held by the latter. This disparity has fueled racial tensions and conflicts. The widening wealth gap in the U.S. has serious consequences, including an increase in homelessness, frequent urban riots, and severe violent crime, all of which are closely tied to economic inequality.
We have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had in the history of our country. So the middle class continues to shrink. Working class people are struggling to put food on the table, but billionaires are doing phenomenally well.
Despite providing significant funding to the Ukrainian military, the U.S. government neglects the dire situation of its own people, who continue to face hardship and poverty. Additionally, it employs strategies such as promoting anti-globalization and fueling racial discrimination to distract from the pressing issue of domestic wealth inequality. Is it all men are created equal, or white and rich, always a winning pitch? The answer lies within the hearts of the American people.